to return the child. We have new details tonight about the man behind a wave of bombings in Austin, Texas. Investigators now say 23-year-old Mark Condit had a list of targets for future attacks. Federal agents have been searching his home for the past 2 days now. They say he confessed to sending those 5 package bombs, killing 2 people, but tonight they are still unsure of a motive.
Dozens of abused horses are getting a second chance tonight thanks to Maryland Rescue Group. Last Chance Animal Rescue stepped in after hearing about 24 horses found dead on a property on the eastern shore. Now it's helping about 100 horses in various conditions recover. So far, charges have not been filed against the farm's owner, but the sheriff's office says it is waiting on test results to determine how those horses died.
Well, 7 on your side getting results after neighbors say the D.C. government allowed a home to fall apart. Neighbors of a Northeast Washington home complained to the D.C. Consumer Regulatory Agency about an abandoned house for nearly 3 years. That abandoned house was connected to theirs, and it was vacant until squatters moved in. Well, city inspectors didn't declare the property as blighted until the ABC7i team got involved.
At what point do you stop and say, okay, the city needs to now take this house and it needs to be a foreclosure and they need to sell it?
Well, the D.C. auditor called out the district last year for forgetting more than 30 abandoned homes throughout the city. The big liquidation sale at Toys R Us will happen next Friday. It was supposed to happen today, or at least start today, but the store, citing unforeseen circumstances, postponed it until next week. Experts say this delay and uncertainty could hurt Toys R Us efforts to maximize returns for creditors.
Must-see video now out of Australia. Riders on the Buzzsaw roller coasters were left upside down when it got stuck. The park says an automatic sensor detected something was wrong, but people were left dangling for 15 minutes. No word tonight on if a sensor malfunctioned or if something was actually wrong, but pretty terrifying for the 15 minutes that people were dangling like that.
If you took a sample, I'm sure all those people would vote that, yeah, something clearly went wrong. Because that's not the way this was supposed to go.
The evidence points to that.
The longest 15 minutes of their lives.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so what have we got going on tonight?
Very little, which is great. We need a little bit of a break after the big snow that we picked up this week and, of course, the rain on Tuesday. So here's what it looks like outside. It's a gorgeous evening. Our bar is pretty low. You know, it's not this go sit on the deck kind of an evening. But hey, it isn't snowing, raining. There's no ice out there other than a little bit of some refreeze going on. The rest of the night looks like this. Those clouds that were out there, and got a few of them, they're going to be decreasing. Clear skies, that will allow our temperatures to drop down into mid to upper 20s to about the freezing mark. So it's another cold start to the day, but boy, a lot of sunshine tomorrow. It's Friday. If you happen to have any travel plans, looking like a fantastic day for that. So let's go straight to your Futurecast. Start you out at 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't expect any weather-related problems for you at all, other than, and I've mentioned this, and it's not a big threat. We don't like overstate these things. Refreeze pretty much on driveways and sidewalks and things that haven't been treated. And it's really only if you're not thinking about it. You're out there walking the dog and you're not paying attention. All of a sudden you hit one of those things and you slip back. We're not looking at ice rinks on highways or any of those things. It should be a delightful morning, just a little bit on the chilly side. And then as we head on into your day, temperatures are going to rebound. Like today, be well above the freezing mark. We're going to have a lot of sunshine, but we're not going to be quite where we should be temperature-wise when you look at the normals, which this time of year is all the way into the upper 50s to near 60. Here's 3 o'clock. I'll stop this here, say right around your evening drive at 6. And again, look at that. Beautiful. From the west all the way back through the district and down into southern Maryland. Should be a very nice night. Going out on Friday evening, you'll want your coat because like tonight, it's going to be chilly, but no problems for you then either. We hop into our Saturday. Let me get straight to your ABC 7-day. What we're watching, we're going to keep that 20% chance. There is a weather system that's shaping up. It's going to be a quick slider, and it moves in from the northwest down to our south. This should stay off to our south. A majority of the models keep it south of our region. But we're going to be watching it closely. Maybe Richmond gets some of the snow, places like that. But if it does creep up a little bit farther north, we may need to up that, but I don't expect it now. Other than that, we are in a dry trend, so wash that car, get all the salt off of it. You have a lot of days here that you can enjoy with some sunshine. But the one thing we're going to be keeping our eyes on, it's interesting, temperature-wise, we're only into the 40s until we get into mid-next week, pushing the end of the month. Normal high is 58. Highest temperature we've had so far this month is 59. Only one time in history have we not had a 60-degree temperature in the month of March. And it's not like I have these jumping here to 75. So it'll be really interesting to watch that. But there you go. Having a great day Friday. Enjoy. Guys, send it back to you.
All right, Bill, thank you. And check this out, 5 feet of snow in less than 24 hours. 5 feet? Yeah, but you know what? It's a good thing because all this fell during a storm at Mammoth Mountain in California today. Bill, I know you're jealous.
Oh,
the resort
awesome.
says because of all the fresh snow, it will stay open at least through Memorial Day.
Through Memorial Day. That's
Memorial
a lot
Day.
of fresh powder out there for all the skiers.
They were
Great to
open
see.
through 4th of July last year, if
Oh
I'm
my
not mistaken.
goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my. Well, your Uber or Lyft ride could soon get more expensive.
Yeah, why DC's Mayor Bowser wants to give the extra money to Metro. That's next.
I'd introduce myself, but this isn't about me, James Hinchcliffe, famous IndyCar driver. It's about the Honda Dream Garage Spring event, where all your Honda Dream